Charlotte Humphrey at the top in terms of points, 589 points, 520 to Eliza Humphrey with Lily Rice in third. We can now move on to the next heat, Heat 4. So 589 points now, the target to be top of the points tally. I expect that one to be challenged here because we have Eva French in lane 0, Megan Willis in 1, Danielle Doris in 2, Rebecca Lewis in 3, Mira Yini Mack in lane 4, Natalia Hawkeye in lane 5, Kara Spencer Scott in 6, Connie Ratley in 7, Megan Richter in 8, and Amber Haycock in lane number 9. Well, Danielle Doris is the lowest numerical class. She's a S7 swimmer. She's going in lane number 2, a couple of lanes up from the bottom. She had an incredibly strong Paralympic Games in Tokyo, taking a silver medal in this event, 100 backstroke. So the Canadian there with just that red costume, a couple of lanes up from the bottom. She will certainly be the one to beat in terms of points. Mira Jeannie Mack from Germany, also a Paralympian in Tokyo. And Megan Richter, right up there in lane 8. Well, she was a World Championship medalist back in 2019 in this event. We'll see how Megan Richter gets on one lane from the top. It's going to be Amber Haycock first into the wall. 5.76 for her, 5.88 for Megan Richter. And, well, as expected, Danielle Doris, the big points total of that heat, 873 points for Danielle Doris. Wow, that's an incredibly fast swim from her. 123.13 for the Canadian. Let's say top 20 swimmers from all of the heats. And the international swimmers will progress to that World Series, the 2 World Series finals. So I expect to see a few from this heat will make it into those World Series finals tonight. The next 10, of course, there is a national final for the GB swimmers. So 873 points though for Danielle Doris. That will be a big target for this final heat. And that swimmer's just getting those backstroke wedges sorted out. So move on to the final heat. So this one says Abby Hampshire in lane 0, Ariana Hunsaker in lane 1, Janina Breuer in lane number 2, Poppy Maskell in 3, Megan Neve in 4, Georgia Sheffield in 5, Roisin Nirian in lane 6, Jessica Jane Applegate in 7, Hannah Russell in 8, and Bethany Firth in lane number 9. Well, Hannah Russell and Bethany Firth, you would expect them to be very high in terms of points. Both of them Paralympic champions in this event from Tokyo last year. Bethany Firth, in fact, a triple Paralympic champion. She won in London, she won in Rio, and she won in Tokyo this event. And Hannah Russell was a double champion herself, winning in Rio and in Tokyo. So those two right at the top there, they will be the class of this field you would expect. Roisin Nirian has had a great swim yesterday, the Irish swimmer, European medalist in this event, and she is going really well in the center there, and a 109.00 for Roisin Nirian. That's an excellent swim from the Irish swimmer, 822 points. And it was Bethany Firth in the outside lane, just getting the touch over Hannah Russell and Jessica Jane Applegate. And big points totals for those as well. And also Poppy Maskell had a great swim in the centre, coming through really strongly at the end. And Poppy Maskell in the S14 class, she competes against Bethany Firth and Jessica Jane Applegate. And she's in between the two big names there. So Roisin Ní takes that one for Ireland, 822 points. Another great swim from the Irish swimmer, with Hannah Russell second in terms of points, Bethany Firth in third. So the summary of all the heats, we'll see Danielle Doris be top in 873 points, Roisin Ní in second, Hannah Russell in third. Those are your top 10. Here are the next 10 swimmers. Remember, top 20 swimmers eligible for those World Finals will progress to those World Series Finals, and the next 10 best British national swimmers will progress to the national swimmer tonight. So some good swims early on this morning, some big points totals in the women's event. Can we follow that up with the men's? This is the men's 100 metres backstroke. Event 202, Heat 1. So we saw 5 heats for the women. This is the first of the 5 heats for the men in this 100 metres backstroke. And looks like we have one swimmer missing from the start list. We have Owen Boys from Blackpool Aquatics going in lane 1, Justin Capps from Germany in lane 2, Bruce D, Northampton in lane 3, Bjorn Iron from Hamilton in lane 4, Sebastian Williams, Mount Kelly in 6, and Archie Hare from Richmond Dale in lane number 7. Archie Hare just going over the turn there. You see the tapping stick there for Archie Hare. He's another swimmer in the S11 class. Great to see a number of the S11 swimmers with no vision at all coming through. Some great talent, great Britain. I've got an excellent history of S11 swimming over the years. Many champions we've had. And the Humphreys and the likes of Archie Hare coming through. Great to see a resurgence of that classification here in Great Britain. Sebastian Williams is right next to Archie Hare, but here's Justin Capps coming in now. 1:14.65 for the German swimmer. He had a good swim yesterday. German Paralympian. No entry time in that one, so expected him to be first into the wall, and that's exactly what he was. Owen Boys followed him home, the S14 swimmer from Blackpool Aquatic. And it is Archie Hare into the wall in lane number 7 there in 1:36.62. So just outside his entry time of 1:35. Yeah, a couple of young swimmers in that one. Bjorn Iron finished in 4th position there in terms of where they touched the wall. I'm just 15 years of age this year. And Archie Hare a year younger. And there is Archie. Getting his goggles checked. Everything looks okay. We can confirm the result of that first heat. In terms of points, it looks like it is Justin Kaps from Germany who's going to be in the top position there. 449 points. Justin Kaps takes that one. German swimmer 1:14.65. Sebastian Williams and Owen Boys. Very close contest there between the next four, actually. All separated by just 20 points. So that was heat number one. We're just about ready to move on to heat number two. So 10 swimmers in this one. Luca Williams goes in lane number 0. Akesh Das goes in lane number 1, saw him yesterday. And Alexander Hobbs going in lane number 2. Alfie Penfold in 3. Nathan Brown in 4. Lewis Jones in 5. Ethan Naisbitt in 6. Fabian Brunner in 7. Owen Say in lane number 8, and Aidan Stanbrook goes in lane number 9. Right at the top there, looks like Aidan Stanbrook is going to bring them over in first position, followed very closely there by Lewis Jones, Southampton swimmer. Ethan Naisbitt as well, very close between the, top 5, 6 possibly, all in a row. It was Stanbrook though who got them over in first position. The only non-British swimmer is Fabian Brunner, going up there in lane number 7, right there in the mix. But it might well be Stanbrook in the outside lane as they come into the last 10 metres or so. It's very close here. Lanes 3, 5 and 9, so that's Penfold, Jones and Stanbrook. It will be Stanbrook, I think, will be into the wall. And he just gets in 1:22.62. It was a good finish there by Alfie Penfold, the visually impaired swimmer, in lane 13. He finishes in 1:22.80. So a good improvement for Alfie Penfold there. In terms of points, it looks like it's going to be the German swimmer, Fabian Brunner, who's going to be top of the points total, if that result is confirmed, of course. These swimmers exit the water. We do have an announcement about heat number 1. And the swimmer in lane 4 in heat 1 of this event was disqualified for a technical infraction. So there's a result, a confirmed result of that second heat. Fabian Brunner taking that one, 590 points. So heat number 3 underway. Darren Paredes Flores going in lane number 0. No one in 1, but we have Zach Sturgis in 2, Jake Woods in 3, Andrew Beharry in 4, Zach Zona in 5, Jacob Wood in 6, Benny Romberg in 7, Baltazar Bradshaw in 8, and Felix Cowan in lane number 9. Now, 2 Canadians back in the water again. They had a good contest yesterday. Felix Cowan and Zach Zona, both swimming in the S8 classification. They are the lower numerical classifications in this particular heat, so expect big points totals from the 2 Canadians. Zach Zona, Commonwealth Games swimmer in 2018. Hoping to go to another Commonwealth Games, I'm sure, in Birmingham in the summer. Big target for the Commonwealth swimmers here at these championships. But coming through, Felix Cowan might just have the edge here in the outside lane. Into the finish, Felix Cowan just stretches for that one and he gets it, 1:16.93. And again, just ahead of his teammate. It was a very close contest between the 2 Canadian swimmers. They're split by Benny Romberg and Jacob Wood in terms of time. And Zach Zona in 4th position. Jake Woods, City of Glasgow swimmer, in 5th place. It was a very, very tight finish there. Zach Sturgis also in the mix as well. In terms of points, it is the 2 Canadians, as expected, in the 500-point range. 5.37 for Felix Cowan. He gets the better of his teammate this morning. I'm sure they'll be hoping for another swim this evening so they can renew that rivalry. Swimmers look like they're out of the water for heat 3, so we can move on to heat number 4. So heat number 4 sees Matthew Scott in lane 0, Sam Downey in 1, Luke Batty in 2, Kieran Williams in lane 3, Lewis White in 4, Joseph Creeves in 5, Rio Rogers in 6, Dylan Blakely in 7, Tyson McDonald in 8, and Owen Garside in lane number 9. Well, S14s all the way in the top half of this field, lanes 5 through to 9, only S14 classification. And in lane 4, Lewis White from Great Britain. Lewis White, Paralympic medalist back in Rio in 2016. He was a Commonwealth Games medalist in the Gold Coast in 2018. And he's going well here, just in the first of those yellow lanes. He'll be hoping to try and make a consideration standard for the Commonwealth Games this time round. This is an event for the S9 swimmers of Lewis White's class. He's got to go into the 107 range. Lewis White might just slip by this morning, but not by much. 108.96 for Lewis White. That might be the top points total for the Paralympic medalist from Rio. Tyson McDonald looked like he won the battle of the S14s at the top of the pool there, finishing in 107.77. And it is Lewis White who's top in terms of points. Good swim from Sam Downey as well. 605 points for the Scottish swimmer from East Lothian. And Luke Batty in 3rd position, 595 points. But Lewis White, sure that'll be good enough for him to come back for another swim tonight, another crack at that time. As we move on to the final heat, heat 5 of the 5 heats is just about ready to go. swimmers in this final heat. Ryan Potter goes in lane number 0. Inigo Lopez Sanz, the Paralympic silver medalist and European champion from Spain in the S8 class. He goes in 1. Expect a big points total from him. Barry McClements, Paralympic finalist. He goes in lane 2. Aymeric Parmentier from Belgium goes in 3. George Kelman-Johns in 4. James Hollis, the British record holder, goes in 5 in the S10 class. No swimmer in lane 6. We have Stephen Clegg, also British record holder in his classification. He goes in 7. Jordan Catchpole and Louis Lawler, the 2 S14s, medalists on the world stage, they go in 8 and 9. So Stephen Clegg, Jordan Catchpole and Louis Lawler, as we saw yesterday, they are fighting this one out at the front of the field. Looks like it might be Stephen Clegg into the wall first, and 101.96 for Stephen Clegg. Another good swim from him. He's been pretty consistent, Stephen Clegg. 878 points for him. Jordan Catchpole and Louis Lawler coming in almost together there. 102.14 for Catchpole in the end, with Lawler in 3rd position in that heat, and in terms of time and in terms of points, because the Paralympic silver medalist Inigo Lopez Sanz, 748 points for the Spanish swimmer, just 2 points shy of Louis Lawler's points total, but Stephen Clegg, 878 points. He'll win that final heat. Well, Stephen Clegg leads the qualifiers through, 878 points. Jordan Catchpole in 2nd place, Louis Lawler in 3rd, Inigo Lopez Sanz in 4th, all from that final heat there. And in 10th place, Sam Downey. What a good swim that was from the Scottish swimmer in the S8 class. That'll put him close to contention for selection for the big meets. There's the points totals just scrolling through here for all the swimmers who took part in those 5 heats. The next event, as we move to the top end of the pool, is the one and only heat of the women's 50 metres breaststroke. 2 swimmers in this heat. It's an interesting contest in prospect here. Ellie Chalice, what a swim she had yesterday to break the British record in that 100 freestyle in the heats in the morning. She's the world record for this particular event, the SP2 50 metres breaststroke, 1 length of the pool for her. Tanya Schultz, well, she was in record-breaking form yesterday. World record in the evening yesterday for Tanya Schultz of Germany. But it looks like Ellie Chalice has got this one sewn up in the early stages here. Ellie Chalice, well, set the world record at the British Para-Swimming World Series back in 2019. So I wonder if she's going to challenge that again. 105.42. for Ellie Chalice is the world record time as it stands at the moment. Well, it's almost at 3 years old now, and Ellie Chalice has really progressed in that time. She's coming in now to the final 5. I think it's just going to slip by at 1:05 time, but Ellie Chalice is going to win this one comfortably, and she takes it in 1:10.27, 806 points for Ellie Chalice. And she'll be back again to have another crack at that swim tonight. It was really the event. Ellie Chalice kind of came to the attention of a lot of people a few years back. On the breaststroke, breaking these long-standing records that had really stood since the 90s. And Ellie Chalice managed to challenge those records. And she's moved on. Backstroke medalist, of course, in Tokyo. And also in the World Championships in 2019 as well. Real star. That was Ellie Chalice. And here comes Tanya Schultz. Great swim yesterday. And she's registered 1:53.43 this morning. Oh, Tanya Schultz. Oh, yeah. High-level swimmer for German able-bodied teams in the past before she acquired her disability. And she's come into the German para team with a real bang yesterday. First time we've seen her on the international stage. And a world record on day 1, that can't be bad. We'll have Ellie Chalice to contend with in the final tonight. These two should be back tonight to contest that final in the World Para Series. Next event is just about ready to go, and we have the one and only heat of the men's 50 meters breaststroke. Well, 3 swimmers taking the start here for the men's 50 breaststroke. One length of the pool for Harvey Phillips in lane number 4, Yavi Torres in lane number 5, and Lyndon Longhorn in lane number 6. They're all the same classification, the SB3 classification. 50 breaststroke is only contested by the SB1 to SB3 classifications in international competition. It's 100 breaststroke after that for all the competitors. Lyndon Longhorn, though, ahead of his more experienced rival, Yavi Torres, who's just ahead of Harvey Phillips. Yavi Torres, of course, 7 times a Paralympian. His 7th Paralympic Games were in Tokyo. But Lyndon Longhorn got ahead of him in the individual medley last night. He's ahead here in the breaststroke. Lyndon Longhorn, British record stands at 57.94. Very close for Lyndon there. Just 0.3 of a second outside his own British record time. So Lyndon Longhorn continuing that good form that we saw during 2021. Just very close to his own British record there. Now Javi Torres in 2nd position in 104.22. The Spanish swimmer we saw yesterday showed his experience in the heat yesterday morning. He was much faster in the final in the evening. He's just conserving his energy. The 7-time Paralympian first got onto the international stage in 1992. As the swimmers exit the water, it's a good swim from Lyndon Longhorn. Javi Torres, I'm sure, will have more to give in the final tonight, and a good swim from Harvey Phillips as well. Women's 100 breaststroke is next. They are about to come out for the first of the 5 heats. So 3 swimmers in for the first of the 5 heats of the women's 100 breaststroke. Again, a range of classifications in all of these heats. And the swimmers are looking to gauge themselves against the standard time for their particular classification. And we've got 3 classes on display here. Miriam Solomon from Canada, closest to us, the SB6 swimmer. And 2 from Ireland, Amy Sheridan in lane number 4. She swims in the SB8 class. And Sheila Brady, also from Ireland, she swims in the SB7 class. As I said earlier, Sheila Brady, very much Commonwealth Games hopeful. She swims for the Irish team in international competition. In the World Series, she's from Northern Ireland, so she will be able to represent Northern Ireland in the Commonwealth Games, should she qualify. She's going well in the early stages. Good tussle here between the 2 Irish swimmers. There's no entry times for these swimmers, but they're going pretty well. Good contest here between Sheridan and Brady. Miriam Solomon from Canada is just behind pace a little between the top 2, but she is the lowest numerical classification, so in terms of the points, she might still challenge the Canadian. It does look like Sheila Brady is going to take this one, the SB7 swimmer, unless Amy Sheridan can just pose a challenge in the last few meters here. It's going to be hurting for these 2 Irish swimmers coming into the end. They'll be glad to see that wall. Almost all arm-dominated strokes there from the SB7 and SB8 swimmer. And it is Sheila Brady who gets that one. 202.69. 370 points. And Miriam Solomon, well, she's not going to challenge the points total of Brady, but she will get in ahead of Amy Sheridan in terms of points. 217.71 for the Canadian. The result is confirmed. Sheila Brady takes that one. 370 points. Miriam Solomon in second, 277. Amy Sheridan in third, 211. Swimmers are out of the water now. That means we can move to heat number 2. So we have for heat number 2, Alexandra Mihailova going in lane 1. Brock Whiston goes in lane 2. See Brock back again, the world record holder in the SB8 class. Carmen Lim back in the water again, the Malaysian swimmer from the Commonwealth Games at the Gold Coast 4 years ago. Laura Pilkington going in that centre lane in lane number 5. She's the lowest numerical class in this one. She swims in the SB5 classification. Lily Rice goes in lane 6. Rebecca Lewis in 7. And Fern Snedden goes in lane number 8. Fern Snedden had a couple of good swims yesterday from Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. But it's Brock Whiston, no surprise, the world record holder, leads them through the halfway point, 43.14 at halfway for Brock Whiston. As I said, had that sensational World Championships in 2019. Took the world record in the world title in this event. I also won the 200 metres individual medley, helped really by the breaststroke leg of that one. She absolutely killed the rest of the field. And Brock Whiston coming home in lane number 3. Let's have a look at the points total. She's going to be somewhere around about the 135 mark. Yeah, 135.10 for Brock Whiston. 467 points. Looks like it might be Rebecca Lewis into the wall next, 144. Carmen Lim coming through in 3rd position. Fern Snedden just behind her. We'll keep an eye on the points total for Laura Pilkington, the SB5 swimmer. Alexandra Mihailova as well, right down there in lane number 1. Laura Pilkington, British record holder in 200 breaststroke. And she comes in 214.03. That's a good improvement for Laura Pilkington there. She'll be pleased with that one. 343 points for Laura Pilkington. In terms of points, it looks like it might be Fern Snedden actually. We'll take that one. I said she was on good form. There you go. 548 points for Fern Snedden. 149.82. Another massive improvement for the swimmer from RTW Monson. Yeah, it's certainly one to watch for the future. She had big improvements yesterday. So it shouldn't have surprised me today that she had another big improvement. The SB6 swimmer. Of course, there are the start list there for heat number 3. They're just about to go as these other swimmers exit the water. Swimmers for this 3rd heat. Haya Zoder Barrezo from Spain goes in lane 0. European Championship medalist, Spanish swimmer, Paralympian from Tokyo. She's leading them through in the early stages here. Caitlin Trevor in lane number 1. Colleen Cloetta from Canada in lane 2. Ellen Stevenson from Richmond Dale in 3. Isabel Haynes goes in 4. Charlotte Hyde in 5. Amy McFarlane in 6. Going well in the early stages. Amy McFarlane leading them through in 50.29. Abigail Daly in 7. Another Canadian, Daniel Kisser, goes in lane 8, and Samantha Lewis goes in lane number 9. So I wonder if Amy McFarlane, the experienced swimmer from Motherwell and Wishaw, a mainstay of the Scottish team for many years now. Amy McFarlane still going strong here. In the early stages, she's just being caught now by Charlotte Hyde. And also Nahia Zodari Barezzo right down there in lane number 0, now pulling herself ahead of the others. It looks like it's going to be Zodari Barezzo who's going to be in ahead of Charlotte Hyde. Lane number 5. Charlotte Hyde could be on for a good points total here as well in lane 5. So Dari Barezzo gets in 332 points. Charlotte Hyde 590 points for the SB6 swimmer from Great Britain. She comes home in 147.10. Big improvement there. Amy McFarlane finishing in 3rd position after having that lead at halfway. A good swim from Amy McFarlane. So team 2, must be 6 swimmers into the wall first in terms of points. And that result is confirmed there. Charlotte Hyde, 590 points there for the SB6 swimmer. 147.10. So we move on now to heat number 4 of the 5 heats. This 4th heat, Evie Lambert goes in 0. Eliza Humphrey back in the water again. First the Humphrey sisters, she goes in lane 2. Megan Richter goes in lane number 3. Grace Harvey goes in 4 with that red cap there. Paralympic silver medalist from Tokyo. Scarlett Humphrey goes in lane number 5. Really good start, Scarlett Humphrey there in the upper of those 2 yellow lanes. The centre of the pool. Nicole Turner, another Paralympic silver medalist in the butterfly. She goes in lane number 6. Mira Jeannie Mack from Germany goes in 7. Fern Ioano in 8. And Amber Haycock in lane number 9. It's the 2 outside lanes who lead them through. They're in the SB14 and SB9 classifications though, so watch out for the likes of Grace Harvey, British record holder. And as I said, Paralympic silver medalist in Tokyo in this event. Again, she will be, another one will be hoping to make it to Commonwealth Games. You have to swim up against the SB6 swimmers. So it'll be a tough ask for Grace Harvey to do that, but the red cap going well, and also going well, very well indeed, is Eliza Humphrey coming into the closing stages there. The totally blind swimmer just coming in. You see the tapping stick there. And Eliza Humphrey in 139.66. So another good swim from Eliza Humphrey. Amber Haycock takes the touch at the wall ahead of Fern Ioanu. But in terms of points, I think it must be Grace Harvey with the highest number of points. for Grace Harvey, 705 points. That's not a bad swim at all from Grace Harvey, just a second and a half outside her British record. So 145.44 for Grace Harvey should be the highest points total, but again, we're going to have to wait for the official result because the two Humphrey sisters will have to get their goggles checked, the blacks out goggles. It was a great swim from Eliza Humphrey, wasn't it? 139.66. Entry time was 145.02, so that's a massive improvement there from Eliza Humphrey. Scarlett Humphrey not too far behind, 141.43. Here's the goggles getting checked. The two Humphrey sisters, the thumbs up there. So maybe I'll be okay to confirm that result. And there we have it. Grace Harvey is at the top, 705 points for the British record holder. Nicole Turner in second place, 563. And the two Humphrey sisters in third and fourth. And move on to heat number 5. So some big names here in this final heat. It's Megan Willis in lane 0, Maisie Summers-Newton, European record holder, Paralympic champion in this event. She goes in lane 1, Astrid Carroll in 2, Eva French in lane 3, Poppy Maskell, great swim earlier this morning in the backstroke. She's back again in lane number 5. Abby Kane goes in 6, and Roisin Rian in 7. Another excellent swim this morning. And the two Paralympic Games silver medalists in the outside lanes, Rebecca Redfern and Louise Fiddis. Both of them are British record holders. In fact, Rebecca Redfern's a British record holder, but the S14 record is held by Bethany Firth. So Louise Fiddis on the outside lane, but Rebecca Redfern, what a Paralympic game she had. After having a baby in 2020, she came back in 2021 to take a sensational silver medal. She's the world champion in this event, Paralympic silver medal, and she's coming in to the finish now. Rebecca Redfern, 118.22, 703 points for Rebecca. Louise Fiddis in second position as they touch. In fact, no, Roisin Rian in second, just ahead of Louise Fiddis there. Good finish from the Irish swimmer. Roisin Rian 122.59. But Maisie Summers-Newton, let's watch out for her. She's the European record holder. And again, it's another huge points total for Maisie. 135.45 the time. And 834 points. So the main contenders are the higher points totals. Maisie Summers-Newton, 834 points for her. Rebecca Redfern, 703 points. And Louise Fiddis, 660 points. So 834 for Maisie Summers-Newton. That should be the highest points total of everyone. And she does take the top spot as we see the summary of all the heats. Maisie Summers-Newton, Grace Harvey, Rebecca Redfern, Louise Fiddis, Paralympic medalists from Great Britain in this event. They are the top 4 spaces. There's the next list of swimmers, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, as we scroll through the 5 heats. We'll move on to the next event, which is the men's 100 metres breaststroke, event 206. Again, we have 5 heats in this one. This is heat number 1. So this heat number 1 sees Kieran Williams. In fact, no swimmer in lane number 2. So we have Kirill Pulver in lane number 3. We have Sergio Vaquero Ajeno in lane number 4 from Spain. We have Hotur Ingvarsson, who goes in lane number 5 from Iceland. Joe Field goes from Richmond Dale in 6, and Alexandros Michailidis goes for Cyprus in lane number 8. Again, a range of classifications in this one. Sergio Vaquero Ajeno, the World Championship swimmer for Iceland there. Hotur Ingvarsson goes in lane number 5, but it is a Spanish swimmer in lane number 4. The SB9 swimmer, the highest numerical class in this one. It's no surprise to see him stretching away at the front of the field. Spanish have got a small team with them here to Aberdeen. Well, they've had some success in the finals last night. And this is going to be 124.78 for the Spanish swimmer, 124.78. I'll have to wait for the points totals to be confirmed with that one. The SB9 swimmer well ahead of the rest of the field, as you might expect. Sam Downey, an excellent swim there in the backstroke. Sam Downey earlier. SB7 swimmer from East Lothian, coming into the closing stages now. Its entry time 2:04.55. So you might just be around about that. Yeah, 1/10 of a second faster there for Sam Downey. 2:04.42. Looks like it's going to be Kirill Pulver getting in next, 2:17.97 for the Russian swimmer. And Ingvarsson from Iceland will be coming in next. Right in the centre of the field. 2 swimmers still to finish. Joe Field from Richmond Dale has finished in 2:19.71. There's Ingvarsson, 2:56.74 for the Icelandic swimmer. There is Alexandros Michailidis from Cyprus. Moved up to the SB4 classification. Cyprus team won a couple of medals over the years at Paralympic events due to Carolina Belendritou mainly. Breaststroke champion, visually impaired swimmer from Cyprus. And there's Michailidis coming in to the closing few meters there. 3 minutes 31.64. Well, the points haven't appeared on our scoreboard here. Looks like we've got the results in terms of time. So Sergio Vaquero, Sam Downey, Kirill Pulvar, they are first into the wall. Move on now to the next heat, which is heat number 2. So no 1-0, but we have 9 swimmers taking the start for this one. Bjorn Iron in lane 1, Sebastian Williams in 2, Archie Hare in lane 3, Bruce D in 4, Noah Burden in 5, Cian Saville in 6, Jake Woods in 7, Aidan Stanbrook back in the water again in 8, and Alfie Penfold going in lane number 9. Aidan Stanbrook tends to always be in that far end, I think. I think that's his third race where he's been right up to the top of the pool, which means he's one of the fastest swimmers in the heat. He might just bring them into the wall first. No, it's Jake Woods who just gets the touch there, 45.67 against 46.12. In third spot, it is Archie Hare. We saw him earlier, a swimmer in the SB11 class. So here you have the tapper at the turn, tapper at the end as well for the swimmer with no vision. He'll be wearing his blacked out goggles. Good contest between Jake Woods and Aidan Stanbrook though. Jake Woods, the SB8 swimmer, against Aidan Stanbrook, the SB9 swimmer. Stanbrook may be just edging ever closer to Jake Woods here as they come into the finish. I hope we're going to get points here as they hit the wall. And Aidan Stanbrook who takes that one in 1:38.60, just 4/100ths of a second ahead of Jake Woods. And 2 good times there. They pushed each other on very well. 4/100ths separating them in the end. Third place to the wall, Archie Hare. And he's followed by Sebastian Williams and also Bruce D as well. So in terms of points, I'm thinking that the likes of Sebastian Williams might be top on the points totals, but not getting the points totals through at the moment, so I'm just going to have to wait for them and bring you them a little bit later on. Let's hope the scoreboard might sort itself out before we progress too much into these heats. But Stanbrook certainly first to the wall. Jake Woods just followed him home. We'll have to wait again for the blacked out goggles of Archie Hare to be checked before we can confirm this result. He was third into the wall, 1:40.87 for Archie Hare. Another big improvement for him. So as they finish, Stanbrook, Woods and Hare are the top 3 finishers. I think Sebastian Williams might have the higher points total than the leader there, Aidan Stanbrook, but we'll bring you that very shortly. It's a couple of empty lanes here. We do have Zach Sturgis in 0, Benny Romberg in 1. There's no Leo McCree in lane number 2. We have Lewis Jones in 3, no one in 4. We have Owen Johnson in 5, no one in 6, but we have Jacob Wood in 7, Will Perry in 8, and Andrew Bihari in lane number 9. So Will Perry and Andrew Bihari. Will Perry, the SB6 swimmer, swam in the Tokyo Games, of course, for Great Britain. Zach Sturgis also going well right down there in lane number 0. It's between Zach Sturgis, William Perry and Andrew Bihari. First, second and third in terms of the positions. You would expect Will Perry to have the highest points total though. Will Perry really pushing hard here. It's going to be very tight right across the pool. They're almost in a row as they come past us in the commentary position. It's going to be Zach Sturgis, I think, who's going to be first to the wall. Will Perry will just get the edge over Andrew Bihari, I think. So Will Perry, the Paralympian from Tokyo, gets in second position there. 129.19 for Will Perry, ahead of Andrew Bihari, 129.42. But both of them were behind Zach Sturgis in 126.40. So a good contest there on the far side of the pool. And Will Perry will be pleased to dip under the 130 mark. His entry time 130.44. He's now on the 129.19. But a good swim also from Zach Sturgis. Huge improvement on his entry time for the young man. And we do have points this time. And yeah, Will Perry, top of the points. Total 687 points for Will Perry. And here is the lineup for heat number 4 of the 5 heats of this 100 breaststroke. German presence in this 4th heat. Just in caps in lane number 0. First of the 3 Germans. Laurent Matti Walter. Second of the Germans in lane number 1. Luke Boyles in 2. Matthew Davis in 3. Kelly Barn from Canada in 4. Joseph Greaves goes in 5. Jan Schreiber, the 3rd of the Germans, goes in 7. Benjamin Granger, he be leading them through. He goes in lane number 8, and Owen Garsides for Kingston upon Hull goes in lane number 9. Real tussle at the far end of the pool here between Schreiber, Granger and Garsides, and also going well is Justin Capps as well. Down here in lane number 0. So it's those 4 swimmers battling to try and get to the wall first. Benjamin Granger, swimmer from the Isle of Man, is in a real tussle here with Jan Schreiber. German swimmers swam very well in the individual medley. Garside's not out of this one yet either. Looks like it might be Jan Schreiber, but Garside stretches for the wall and he just gets touched out at the end by Jan Schreiber. So Schreiber takes the touch, 117.70. Good finish from Garside, 17.81, and Granger 118.28. Justin Capps, the only other swimmer under the 120 mark, 119.45. And in terms of time, those top 4 all in the 500 range. But it is going to be Jan Schreiber, I think, who's going to be given that one. 559 points for Jan Schreiber of Germany. Yeah, really good race between lanes 7, 8 and 9, all side by side there. Owen Garside's finished really strongly. Jan Schreiber takes it. 559 points for him. Owen Garside's 550 and Benjamin Granger 547. Very close indeed. And we can now move on to the final heat, heat 5 of the 5 heats of this men's 100 metres breaststroke. Ryan Potter, James LaRue, Jack Milne, Robert Isaac Johnson, Joe Sieg, Gavin Roberts, Himeric Parmentier, Conor Morrison, Cameron Burncoombe and Scott Quinn. Scott Quinn, very much the favourite for this one. He's a Paralympic medalist in Rio, Paralympic medalist in Tokyo as well as a European record holder. He's gone out really fast, 31.24. We often see him coming across his great rival, Conor Morrison, based right here in Aberdeen. And it's the two swimmers there in the SB14 class, Conor Morrison and Scott Quinn, who are coming through now. Scott Quinn, European record, stands at 105.28. Set that a couple of years ago. But Scott Quinn stretching away from the rest here. It's going to be a really fast time for Scott Quinn in the 106 range. Yeah, 106.76. for Scott Quinn, ahead of Morrison in 110.45. Watch out for Conor Morrison and Scott Quinn tonight. It was a really positive swim from Scott Quinn. 871 points for him. We'll just get confirmation of that result. Conor Morrison challenged in the early stages there, but it is Scott Quinn taking that one comfortably in the end. 106.76, 871 points for Scott Quinn. Conor Morrison in second, and Aymeric Parmentier third in terms of points, ahead of the champion in the individual medley from last night, Robert Isaac Jonsson. These are going to be the top points earners. We're not going to get a summary because of the problem with the points earlier on for the early heats. We'll try and bring you the points totals if we can before we finish. A couple of events to come. We've got the women's 50 metres backstroke now. The one and only heat. Just about ready to go. Four swimmers taking the start for this 50 metres backstroke for women. Just one heat. So the four swimmers in this one, Clemence Perret from Canada goes in 3, swimming in the S5 class. Ellie Chalice, British record holder, Paralympic Games silver medalist. She swims in the S3 classification, going in 4. Gina Butcher from Germany swims in the S4 classification. She goes in lane 5, and right at the top of the 4 is Claire Connon from City of Cambridge, going in lane number 6. Gina Butcher, we saw her take the title in the 150 metres individual medley. She had a very good swim in that individual medley. We'll keep an eye on Ellie Chalice as well. See if she can challenge and get close to her British record of 55.11. Butcher and Connon come in together. And Ellie Chalice, very close, 57.34 for Chalice, the Paralympic Games silver medalist. And Clemence Perret coming in 4th position. Very strong finish there from Gina Butcher. Again, improving on her entry times. We saw her do that in the individual medley yesterday. She was fast in the heats and faster again in the final. She's had a very fast time here in this heat of the 50 back. Gina Butcher, 51.64 for the German. Ellie Chalice, 57.34. Claire Connon, 54.08. For the swimmer from City of Cambridge. I'm just waiting for confirmation of that. Certainly the time for the Canadian swimmer, Clemence Perret, not registered. I'll just have to get confirmation of those. Yeah, and Claire Connon's time's been revised as well. Gina Butcher, 51.64, takes that, 647 points. Ellie Chalice, 604 points in second. Time for Claire Connon, 51.31, that's a bit better. 380 points, and Clemence Perret, 102.19, 213 points. Final event of the morning is the men's 50 metres backstroke. Again, there is just one heat in this one, and here we go. Heat 1. So the final race of this morning's heats. 4 swimmers in this one. Alexandros Michaelidis of Cyprus, very quickly back in again. He goes in lane number 3. Kirill Pulver from Russia in lane number 4. We have Lyndon Longhorn back in lane number 5, and Javi Torres from Spain, he goes in lane number 6. Javi Torres, that high turnover, affected obviously in all 4 limbs. much higher turnover than Lyndon Longhorn, for example. Carol Pulver going well. Russian swimmer in lane number 4, but it's going to be the experienced man. Javi Torres was going to be in first, I think. He made the backstroke count in the individual medley. Stretches for the wall. Javi Torres gets in 49.70, ahead of Kirill Pulver, 49.82, and Lyndon Longhorn in 52.09 for the Great Britain swimmer. Michaelides just over the 1 minute mark, 1 minute point 47. So these 4 swimmers all being well. Return this evening for another swim in the World Para Series final. We're going to see another contest between Javi Torres and Lyndon Longhorn. It was a superb 150 individual medley yesterday. But Kirill Pulver, also a good swim here. So 561 points for Javi Torres and 487 for Lyndon Longhorn, the 2 S4 swimmers top in terms of the points. So that is the end of the swimming action for this morning. We've seen a number of events, a number of close races, been really close contests here this morning. Some people very close to their record times as well. They've come back for the finals. Remember, the top 20 places will take part in the 2 World Series finals in this evening's session. And there'll also be a national final as well for these GB swimmers who don't make that World Para Swimming finals. So, good finals session in prospect tonight. And as the swimmers are exiting the water, I'll give a big thanks to our technical officials for their help this morning and invite them to leave the poolside. Thank you very much again. Competition couldn't run without you guys, and a great job again. And thank you everyone for your attendance this morning. We hope you'll be able to join us again here in Aberdeen or on the live stream. And that concludes our morning session. Competition will resume again tonight at 1700 hours, so 5 o'clock in the evening local time here in Aberdeen. It should be another cracking final session in prospect, so please join us. We'll see you then.
Attention, please. Here's something I bet you didn't know. Not all supplements are created equal. At HealthSpan, our omega-3 oil is sustainably sourced from the South Pacific Ocean. We find our turmeric on the southern slopes of India. And our cod liver oil comes from the cold, crisp seas of Greenland. We work hard to seek out the best ingredients for all our supplements, because that's the HealthSpan way. We're healthspan.co.uk. Vitamins and supplements in-store or direct to your door.
SIM-only plans? There are always so many tempting options. So you jump headfirst into a long contract, which keeps you locked in for 12 months.
Somebody let me out!
At Labara, we offer great value plans and total flexibility. You can get 10 gigs of data, unlimited UK minutes and texts, and 100 international minutes for just £10 a month. And you can change or cancel anytime.
Now I feel free!
Buy now at labara.co.uk.
Are they about to triple their gold medal total tonight? It's an all-British podium on home soil.